Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, whenever you are in different parts of the world. I greet you with all the greetings of life. Peace be upon you all. Today I'm trying to discuss the issue of the culture or the atmosphere that we are living in since 1991. Why I start with 1991? 1991 was the historic year of the fall down of the Soviet Union, where we started to have polarization of the universe. Instead, used to have two superpower or two blocks to deal with the universe or with humanity or with the globe. Since that time, a lot of things happened. Led us to realize that we are not living in a safe world anymore. Justice is not applied, not applicable, unfortunately. And this is what we have been seeing over the last 30, 40 years. The title of my talk today is Comparison between September 11th and October 7th. September 11th and October 7th. You know what happened in September 11th, and you know what happened on October 7th. What happened in September 11th is much less serious than what we are facing and we are going to face during the time after October 7th. We thought that September 11th have changed the whole world drastically, dramatically, but it seems that October 7 will have a more greater impact on humanity and on life of people on this planet. Let me take the angle of the media and look at the power of the media at that time during September 11th and October 7th. If we look at September 11th, I will mention some media, which was mainly state-organized media, structured one, particularly the satellite, which came out. If we look at what has been used before September 11th and during September 11th, on such channels were some of them, not all of them, Al Jazeera, Arabic, 1st of 11, 1996, CNN, June 1980, CNN Arabic, January 2002, Fox News, 7/10/1996, Fox Network, 9/10/1986, NBC, 18/9/91, the Arabic News Channel, 3/3/2003. This was some of the most famous channels have been impacting and impacted by September 11th, 2001. If we look at 7 or October 7, 2023, maybe 22 years later on, we found that we are not only depending on this kind of traditional media channels, but on the social media. So instead of having 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 TV and satellite channels, who are having millions and millions and millions of channels created by youngsters like yourself, everywhere, different languages. Instead of the viewers of these traditional TVs and satellite within and millions or maybe tens of millions or maybe hundreds of millions, the viewers of this social media are in billions. And the number of views could be in trillions. And this is the difference. This is the difference between the impact of the media used for September 11th to disseminate the information as quickly as it could be, but it took a day, 2, or a week or more. And the media, which comes out, the media statement, or videos or clips, which comes out in a second from different parts of the globe. The impact of October 7th, I'm saying it, and I said it many times over the last few weeks to different groups, could be as much as 100% and as 100 times more than September 11th because of the power of social media and the dissemination of the speed of the dissemination of the information and the vast information on the social media. What is the impact of October 7th on us? First of all, the speed of dissemination of the news, whether it's right or wrong, is number one. Number two, it is the speed of awareness raising and realization of what's wrong and what's right. That's number two. Number three, the speed of producing legislation, laws, regulation, policies, which mostly will cripple the civil liberty spaces for human being. It was not as fast as that during September 11th. The speed of discovering our mistakes and correcting it. In the good old days, the mistake is there and nobody's correcting it, because the media was controlled by the great channels which in control of USA, Canada, Europe, sometimes the Middle East and other parts of the world. But now we talk about the millions and millions and millions of social media platforms, which no country can control it. Number five, the change. This is the speed and the change of climate, unfortunately. The change of the climate, unfortunately. And the social media has changed the media atmosphere and the climate and culture. The appearance of new superstars, not the traditional ones who come to us from the TV and the satellite. And those new superstars are coming from the south and the east. In the good old days, they used to be mainly from the north and west. Number seven, rediscovering issues which were buried, was finished. Appearance of new issues, actually, and discussing the forgotten problems. Number eight, the richness of the data provided by the users of the social media. The data on the social media cannot be comprehended by 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 or more research institutions. Number 9, revisiting the history and editing the history again and correcting the history. The history, unfortunately, which was being written or has been written by the people who have the power and have the victory on the others. Now, the history is being revisited by young people who are correcting it and guiding us. Number 10, the connectivity, the speed of connectivity between different parts of the world, different culture, different values, different religion, different philosophy of thinking, different languages, different history, all this. Number 11, the spread of knowledge or statements or news as much as we can, or as much as the young people can spread it. That's why the impact of October 7 will be at least, maybe or more, maybe 100 times as much as September 11th and more, was negative or positive. I'm not here discussing the reasons behind October 7th. No, it's not my cup of tea. Not discussing it. I'm discussing the impact of October 7th, which is accompanied by the power of social media. I didn't talk about the history of social media, unfortunately. I forgot to talk about it. I mentioned the history of some of the traditional channels, but social media started in 2002 by the LinkedIn, December 2002. Facebook, February 2004. Instagram, 2010. YouTube, 2005. Twitter, 2006. Snapchat, 2011. TikTok, 2016. WhatsApp, 2009. Reels and other between 2019 and 2022. This is the creation of the new power of change, of social change, of climate change, of political change, of value change, of moral change, of everything, every change. All right? So I'm not going to forecast what's going to happen after October 7th, but I'm warning myself and you that the devastation and the impact of October 7th will be at least as much as 100 times as it was in September 11th. Why all this introduction? Because I want to come to a point for the young people. The world is not going to be the same as post September 11th. Forget it. There's a lot of changes which has been planned or have been planned, but there might be counter changes which will come from the power of the awakening of the people, societies, nations, and the power of using the social media as well. This is what we need to look for. So any plan, any organized plan will definitely be changing most of the time, because we do not know what is the outcome, what has been happening after, what will be happening after October 7th. After the fall down of Soviet Union, or even before the fall down of Soviet Union, 1991, we found ourselves living in a world which is very gloomy, very unfair, very corrupt, because we have corrupt individual leading our community, our society, our countries. Even the greater organization have been corrupted by this kind of law to protect the big countries and to ignore the small one, like what we have been seeing many times by the power of the Security Council, which has been exercised by its members hundreds of times to stop justice unfortunately. So we are facing a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, complicated one, connected to one another, and intermingling between one another in different aspects of our life, whether it's social life, political life, value life, philosophical life, military, security, educational, art, and what do you call it, arts and culture, sports, everything. Even it's affecting how to write the history and how to create future leaders. Over the last 40 years, we have been seeing a lot of unrest, a lot of changing in the moral system of life, where we started to trust the liar and to call the trustworthy people lying. We find that people are being killed mercilessly without any reason. They do not know even why. Many displacement, many millions of refugees, many fragmentation of society and the community. I've been seeing during the last 40 years and more who is standing to lead the idiot, the ignorance, the corrupt individuals, while the noble, the honest, the learned, the educated, the scholars are behind bars in detention, or have been forced to leave their own country, or have been killed, or tortured, or have been shut down. Shut up by actually the authority. This is what we've been observing. So people will tell me, okay, enough is enough. You make it very gloomy and very dark and very black atmosphere. I said, yes. But let me tell you what I am leading to. During this gloomy atmosphere, after making the comparison between October 7th and September 11th, we ourselves have to have a role to play, each individual, no matter what, you have to have a role to play. What is our role as individual? Then we'll discuss the role of mothers afterwards. First of all, to identify our relationship with God, with Allah. How close are we to Him? It's not by verbal speeches, by khutbah. It is by action. It is by sincerity. It is by assurance, yaqeen. This number one. Number two, how can we see justice and corruption? Or how can they make a distinction between both of them? The falsehood and righthood. How? This is my duty as individual living at this very, very, very difficult era of time. Number three, we have to make ourselves busy by doing something, even this something was as small as that. See, very small. And sometimes people might not like it and might say, that, oh, it's miserable what you're doing. It's not. Do anything of benefit, even if it's very little. Number five, we should not become amongst the armchair warriors who sit down, analyze, comprehend, philosophize, and give a lot of speeches, hollow speeches. No way. Don't ever become an armchair warrior. Never ever. This is number five. Number six, we spread the message of hope. during this gloomy atmosphere, which you are facing and will be facing more of it after October 7th, we should spread the message of hope. Hope, hope, hope. Hope while we are working. Hope while we are helping. Hope while we are thinking. Hope while we are supporting. Hope while we are changing. Hope while we are in action. The point after that, to be communicating with one another, connecting to other people and other groups and other organizations, to see who is positive and doing some positive thing in our society and connect to them. This is the individual role of each and every one of us. Of us. Don't ever say that I cannot do anything that you can do, but don't sit and do nothing. Don't sit and do nothing. Don't sit and do nothing. In my title today, I talked about maybe the mothers, maybe the family. Why? Because last week I visited an event organized for fundraising for the victims of the war in Gaza. And I found that the hall is filled by majority women, young girls, a few men, and few young boys. This idea came to me. What is your role, mother? We have to re-identify and visit the role of mothers during the gloomy, difficult, and impossible life we live and this kind of infested, poisonous atmosphere. Why I said mother? Because mother is the pillar of the family. Mother is the focal point of building the family, and the family is the most important unit in a society, in a nation, or a country that can build civilization. Because mother is the attractive power of the future generation. And mother is the builder of the future generation. That's why my advice to you, fathers and mothers of younger girls and younger boys and younger men and women, please make marriage easy. Don't complicate matters. Don't put burden on the young people to get married, and educate them that marriage is a compelling duty. I know this is sunnah muakkada, but becomes sometime fard to protect our generation and to protect our younger generation and to build the future of our country, society, nation, and the future civilization and renaissance. Mother is the cornerstone of this. When I looked at the ladies in the room, I said, oh my God, my message for them is, and listen to me. My previous message was to every individual in the community, but this message now is for the mothers. Al-Ummu Madrasatun, mother is like an institute. If you prepare her well, duty of the mother, number one, to tell the child, male or female, young girl or a boy, who are you? What's your identity? What's your loyalty? Your loyalty. Your loyalty. Your loyalty. I think there's something happening with the internet. Your loyalty. Number one, who are you? My son, my daughter, your belonging and your identity. You should, mother, teach him and her. Number two is to tell the child, girl or a boy, What is your role in life? Teach him, guide him. Don't let them to live without having a role to play in the life. Because you are the schooler, you are the institution, you are the producer of the future generation. Tell the children, mothers, what is their aims that they live in life for. That you want my son or you want my daughter to achieve. You cannot live without having an aim, without having a role. No, without having identity, without having belonging. No. And this is the role. At this gloomy time, mothers, this is what you need to tell your children or to educate your children. Tell your children that you have to have a dream, small dream, middle dream, and big dream. Small dream for yourself and bigger dream for your society or for humanity and community, for your religion, for your nation as well. You have to think big, even if you are small. You teach him, mothers, the history of his religion or her religion, his country, her country. Teach them. Tell them who are the role models. Don't let the role models to be drawn to them through TikTok or Instagram. No. Should be the teacher of history. Teach them the culture, the values, the moral values, the religion, the doctrine of the religion, the manner, as I mentioned, the good manner and the bad manner. Tell you not to do that. Tell him, what is your religion? What is the value of the religion? If the religion is about rehearsing the text, the holy books only, and coming out to give speeches, or the religion teaches us to change the society and community, nation, and humanity to the better. Our religion never ever taught us to sit at home and do nothing. What's your religion? Be proud. Let him or her be proud of their religion as well. What is the role of such religion in my society? As has been taken seriously in the past by great scholars and leaders of my community or other community who believes in the religion. Teach him, mothers, his message and her message. Your daughter and your son must have message to believe in, then must have message to spread and educate publicly. Teach them, mothers, their syllabus, the way they can implement and apply their value in society, in manhaj, syllabus. It doesn't go this way, halal and haram. All these kind of things is manhaj given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Teach them that you have a manhaj in life to work through, to implement your religion and to save nations. Tell him that you have hidden abilities. Discover it. Let the children to trust or to have confidence in themselves that they can do the impossible because they have not discovered their potentials. They have to keep discovering their potentials all the time. Tell him to have partners in life, to help, and to have friends in life, not to live in isolation, to work with everybody, to connect to everybody, to be with everybody. Tell your children that. And tell him, most importantly, what do you want to leave for humanity when you leave humanity and meet your Lord? You have to leave something behind for people to learn, to benefit. And this is your role mothers during this very difficult time. Don't make them coward or tell them, come, 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 don't do this. No, no. And this will go through your education to them, your teaching to them, your awareness. You make raising the awareness, not by sitting and listening to a speech and everybody say, thank you. That's why my talk today was different, because a lot of people talk about politics, analysis, and ideas and others. I didn't want to go through this. I wanted to go through you mothers. I wanted to go through each individual. We wanted to make the comparison between September 11th and October 7th, between the power of media of September 11th and the power of social media of October 7th. And here it is the alarm. The world is not going to be as it was. Unfortunately, will not be as good even as it was. Unfortunately, unfortunately, unfortunately. You have to be prepared either to become a change maker and slow this unplanned process of change, or go with the flow. If you go with the flow, you'll have no weight. If you stand up with others and the mothers teaching her children, and each one of us know that he or she has a role to play, will be able to minimize this risk and these challenges and this big unplanned. I'm saying there's a planned agenda, but there's unplanned agenda will happen and might change the whole world to the better, which I doubt, but unfortunately to the other side, which I think it will happen. But we have to be very optimistic and don't let anyone whatsoever to put us down. Never let anybody to take optimism from you and make you pessimistic. تفاءلوا بالخير تجدوا. And if we become optimistic of having something good, Allah will help us to achieve it. Thank you, everyone. May Allah bless all of you. Jazakumullah khair. Also, while I'm talking on the Instagram, I'm trying the live stream on the YouTube as a test. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to be successful or not. But this is my trial today on Instagram as well as on YouTube. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.